You're on point, yes. All the time, Kurt. You're on point, Ray. All the time, Kurt. You're on point, Will. All the time, Kurt. On point radio, we about to build. 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 Listen to On Point Radio Show every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. with co-hosts Curtis Sherrod, Will Jameer, Rayblen Vargas, and me, Yaz Hurston, as we empower and educate you, the listening audience, on current events, lifestyle matters, and political community issues with a twist of humor, intellect, and tough love.
So people, check us out at www.FLOEmpireRadio.com. You can download the app or you can go right to the website and be sure to click on our radio show, On Point.
Love to hear from our people. Call us with your questions, comments, share your thoughts. Call 929-227-4646. That is 929-227-4646.
You're listening to OnPoint Experience.
Wow. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I really love that. Good morning. This is Yaz Hurston. You're listening to OnPoint Experience, the radio show with the best experience in the world. Let's do a little roll call right now.
Good morning. Good morning. JB is in the building. Happy Saturday. Who's over in front of me?
In the house. Your homeboy. He goes by the name of Michael Check. Curtis Sherrod in the building.
Looking very official this morning, my brother.
And, you know, on our way, we got
Thank you, sir.
Ray. And peace shout out to Will Jameer, who is not feeling so well, but we know he's listening. And my dear, you do not. Who's there?
What's going on, everybody? DJ Queen Dream. Thank you for tuning in to the One Point Experience.
And so, you know, as our person, could you please tell us what was that wonderful song that you let us come in on? That was kind of fly.
You know, we're on this independent music thing, and I'm feeling the wave. Shout outs to all the independent artists out there.
That's been responding.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Some music that you like to send to us for us to play on our show, please contact either the On Point Experience on the website or me on DJ Queen Dream on our Instagram, and let's make it happen, people. But that was Image, Tell Me, and it's just the instrumental, but you know, maybe at some point I'll actually play the song.
No, it was kind of fly.
The 808 on it was banging.
Yeah, no.
I know, right?
Oh my God.
Fan of the 808. Dope.
So, you know, of course, we always do this stuff, and you know, Queen Dream, thank you so much. I think you've been getting a lot of responses, and people love to get their stuff played.
Absolutely.
So, you know, always On Point Experience, where you have real talk, real people, and real life.
Hey, what's the 411, hon?
What's the 411, hon?
I got it going on,
Hey, yo, I
hon.
got it going on.
It is the 411.
Hon?
This is a segment that we do, ladies and gentlemen. We go
Hey, yo, I
over
got
the
it
week's
going
events,
on.
things that we felt were important to us, things that were potent in our society. So we're going to run it down based on our opinions on what happened this week. So we're going to go through the 411. So who wants to kick it off? My brother, Kurt Sherrod, you want to? Oh, I saw a raise of a hand. I saw a volunteer. To my, me.
Please,
Fantastic.
Please, Mr. Broom. All
right.
Please.
You know when you got the answer, they don't call on you, but we're going to do it in this
please,
instance.
Mr. Broom.
Oh, okay, the young lady in the front with the glasses on.
Thank you, Mr. Broom.
Yes. What do you have for us?
The nerd in me comes out.
It's all good.
So I have two things. Not long, but one is more of a bigger picture and a smaller picture.
All right.
The bigger picture is big shout out to the New York State Senate and Governor Andrew Cuomo for kind of, killing that beef with the IDC, Independent Democratic Caucus, and the Democrats, and kind of bringing them together based upon the April 24th election. This week, I was at an event for one of the assembly people, who's an assemblywoman in Yonkers, Shelley Mayer, who I know for quite some time. She's running for the Senate. The idea is to get the Democrats to get the majority in the Senate. She is number 32. If she gets that seat, then the Senate majority will now be Democrat, allowing Andrea Stewart Cousins, African-American woman, to be the Senate majority leader. So I don't know if he could have did this ahead of time, earlier or later. Cynthia Nixon maybe played a role in this. I don't know that, but I'm just saying thank you, Governor Cuomo, that said enough is enough, everybody. And so the real talk to this, if April 24th comes and all the elections fare out, then of course we hope that the majority will be the Democrats. But we all know there's one person, there's two words that deal with this. Simcha Felder. Simcha Felder can go either way. He might be a Democrat, but he knows how to play his game. I'm not mad at him on that. And so he's actually the real 32. But that being said, after April 24th, they will no longer supposedly be an IDC that will divide the Democrats in trying to decide what resources come to our communities and that are democratically elected. My last thing is really about due notice in the MTA. I gotta say that again. Due notice in the MTA. As a journalist, I recognize that people reflect on my energy. I realize, Dream, that people reflect on the words that I write. And Jeff, I realize that people listen to the words that I say. So that being said, fuck that. MTA should get it right. MTA has told us at the last minute, like Tuesday, I think I shared this, that on next Tuesday, they told us on Wednesday that on next Tuesday, the 110th Street B and C line will be closed for 6 months. What is that? How dare you? It's disrespectful when you tell people the last minute, so they don't have a time to change or live their life or rearrange their, their way being. But it's also like, you don't even let us tell you what we want.
A week's notice?
A week's notice. Any disruption of city services deserves more than a week. At least 30 days.
I would say so.
At least. And you need to know what I want. How about I tell you, you know what? Maybe if you put an elevator here, that'd be great, Or maybe, you put maybe you could close, maybe you can't open all of them. Could you close this one back up? What are your thoughts on this? You just don't tell me at the last minute and then expect me to go with it and then just put any changes you want. This is supposed to be a community-based thing. MTA, you got to get it right. And you know better than that. You can't talk to people below 110th Street talking about changes on 110th and above. If you had that, what did you call that for a week? The knucklehead of the week? MTA is the knucklehead of the week.
They boom.
And that's what had happened, everybody.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
Oh, that's tragic and whatnot. So now that we got the young lady in the front who volunteered because she had the right answer. Normally, you the teacher, you pick somebody who you don't think that has the right answer just so you blow what. She had it. Kudos.
Thank you.
2 right answers. So I'm passing over to you, my brother. What now? What's going on?
I just want to throw some salt on the omelet that she produced today.
Okay.
I will say that Cuomo and Shelley and them had Harlem Tavern packed out. So
is it?
It was definitely a good look. Democrats looking strong.
All right.
As far as disrespect, she was talking about disrespect.
Yes, sir.
To our governor on that sister cousin should be on that hashtag Me Too movement. How you gonna have like this thing about sexual harassment and equality, and it's all a bunch of old dudes.
It's all a bunch of old dudes
rocking that. And so that's the situation with that.
Really?
And I guarantee they're gonna raise our tolls on the, our fans on the MTA based on what Yaz said. Because she's a powerful woman, you know.
Somebody getting it.
Yeah.
Somebody getting it.
You know what I mean?
Uber people, I don't know.
Yeah,
Y'all might get some more taxes on that.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Somebody
gotta give
are
us
going
notice.
up, gas.
Oh, I'm very upset. Don't get a woman. A woman scorn is the worst thing.
You wanted the elevator, right?
Oh
Boom.
You want an elevator? Okay.
Never gonna pay for it.
Nothing can stop me.
Second Avenue subway is gonna.
So yeah, a Queen. You got a song for me?
Yes, I do have
Please
a song
play
for
a
you.
song because I want to say something kind of heavy here. First generational hip hoppers are becoming a rarity. They're becoming a rarity. They're starting to die with frequency.
Literally die.
We are now listening to a song by a man who hailed from Queens.
Okay.
You know, he was with a crew called the Jazzy Five.
All right.
And this is R.I.P. S.I.P. Big shout to my man, Chuck Freeze. From that illustrious hip hop group who died earlier this week.
Oh, man.
You know, heart attack. 54 years old. He was a young man. He was a young man. His music will live on together forever. On Twitter, LL Cool J said that one of his bars were one of the most influential to him as far as he's concerned, and made his body of work, which was one dope pivotal cut that used to always get the party started, rock out. And that's what happened this week. Oh, but let me just close that out, right? As y'all know, I got a DJ Con event coming up, and we are currently in negotiations with Harlem's own DJ Hollywood to jump that off. All right, so with that being said, we're going to try to do what we do here.
Hey, Kurt, you know what you got to do? You got to do a piece one day. What not only is another dying breed in rap and hip hop, you talked about the Jazzy Five, the Treacherous Three, right? Back in the day. Nobody in hip hop has groups anymore. Everybody's a single individual. When I grew up, Cold Crush Brothers, everybody had a team that they rhymed on the records. Now, everybody's dolo. I don't know if I even know a hip hop group.
You know why?
Of individuals. Talk to me. What's that?
Okay, if you watch Unsung or any of those things,
right,
groups break up once the publishing and those mechanicals and those checks get cut, and you got to divide by 5. You got to divide by 4.
5 plus 5.
You know, that's why LL's doing real well.
Yeah,
you know?
I got you.
Single artists do well, and how you get around that, they do collabos.
Okay. I got you. Just jump on somebody's.
And I think one of the current person to do an album without a collabos to go platinum was Kendrick Lamar. No, they got Kendrick Lamar. North Carolina. What's from Fayetteville? Coles. J. Cole.
J. Cole
was one of the first cats in recent history to do a whole album by himself, no collabos, and go platinum. That's how powerful collabing with people are.
Yeah,
today.
right. You get enough. Okay, I appreciate that, my brother. I learned something and whatnot. So, next time I come out, I'm not having a group. I'm just J Dolo, right? That's me? There you go.
That's you.
That's it. I'm just doing it by my own.
First thing first, Uncle Phil, rest in peace.
Yeah, man. Indeed, right?
So you had what had happened?
I certainly do.
Okay.
So I'm going to kind of piggyback a little bit on what you said with Mr. Cuomo, right? Governor Cuomo. He was in the news this week because initially he took a stance and called marijuana a gateway drug, right? So it was in the news this Friday. He said that we are now in the midst of a study on what the consequences would be of legalizing marijuana here in New York, right? But he had no choice, right? It's legal in Massachusetts, but he publicly has now starting to change his position, right? So obviously Massachusetts, it's legal. There's huge movements that are taking place out in New Jersey as well. So, it is, I believe, the next billion-dollar movement. It is the new revolution. And he says, what he quoted was saying, if there's an opportunity for revenue and regulation, and we can do it in a way that law enforcement can handle it, then there's a real option. He said, the situation is changing. I said, let's do a study. And they'll have the study done by the summer. So, the movement is happening. You really can't stop it. And then I just believe that for those of us, if you could find a way to get in position of this next billion-dollar industry, try to position yourselves because you can't stop it.
That's some blunt talk, man.
Some blunt talk. Hey, that was my... That was our discussion.
Is that a plug?
A shameless plug, right? So anyway, that is what had happened for the week. I think it was very poignant. I think we hit some real good topics and stuff that you guys really need to tune into and take note of. So on that note, we're gonna take a little music interlude and let the queen take us out with some beats, some music, some whatever she wants to do, because she just, Queen Dream.
That's
She
what's
does
up.
it like that.
It's my destiny, 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 destiny. It's my destiny, 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 destiny. It's my destiny, 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 destiny. I'm on the road for better things, that's my destination. And I will get to it, that's my dedication. And my flight's gonna land when it's time, that's my mind on patience, so no minute will be wasted. It's gonna be a celebration, minus the caviar. Like a trip with no luggage and no carry-on. We've been in the hood for so long, it's only right to say hi to the birds and say so long to the late night harassing, coming from the popo. Below average living, shorty sniffing on that cocoa. Money moving on slow-mo, everybody on the same shit, so who's there to call on? My mom's working 2 jobs, keep food and customer service. Bill so high, she gotta stay customer working. And I'm a baby boy, a soldier. I found that recipe to get her out of here is my destiny. Destiny, destiny, destiny. It's my destiny, 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 destiny. It's my destiny, 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 destiny. It's my destiny, 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 destiny. It's my synthesis, the synthesis, the synthesis. I'm not talking about my ex-girl, sister, just the meanings of the word. Everything consists of it. Everything I want for myself, I'm destined to get it. And when I have it, I'm definitely gonna defend it. I'm a focused artist, no matter what you take from me. I'm the definition of it, you gotta love it. I'm running a 7-game series minus the subbing. See he go hard, you could say he bout something. Doing the Kramer to the doors of opportunity. I appreciate the negative of my community, cause it taught me not to settle. That's why my audio tunes on another channel, value on another level. My scriptures is scripting. No way you get this prescription injury running with persistence. And it's my heart, my honor, and the best of me to get nothing less, cause this is my destiny. Destiny, destiny, destiny. It's my destiny, 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 destiny. It's my destiny, 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 destiny. It's my destiny, 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 destiny. It's my. Believe in it, you'll see winning instead of outside.
You're listening to OnPoint Experience.
And you just listened to Kwai the Last Word with Destiny. Shout outs to Kwai. And listen, people, give us a shout out on your social media pages when if you hear what you like, or, if you're the artist that we're playing, give us a shout, that you appreciate the love.
That's what's up. So, we always have issues that come up. And, also I want to acknowledge a couple of issues that in events that we'll be participating in. First, the event that we'll be participating in starting next week. OnPoint Experience will be a media sponsor of the Healthy and Clean Harlem campaign, sponsored by 125th Street Business Improvement District, Community Boards 9 and Community Boards 10. Announcing their first Harlem neighborhood cleanup competition, cleaning up your own. Every day is Earth Day, rather. Earth Day is every day. The event day will take place on May 18th, where they're calling all neighborhood groups to participate. We anticipate having guests come on the show talking about how important it is to clean their community up. And if that could be any type of inspiration for all of our listening audience, it's about taking charge of your own. So big shout out to the 125th Street Business Improvement Business District that's doing things outside of their realm. Sometimes we stay so compartmentalized, we do not address the things around us. If you help those around you, then perhaps everybody can help one another. The other point is that I just saw a couple of things I wanted to raise to your attention. I guess we have a number of guests coming on, but before they come on, I just want to raise a couple of issues to your attention, guys. The first thing is law enforcement. I think the overall message is law enforcement.
Yes.
One, immigration, ICE, and two, just NYPD. One thing is, I'm an avid watcher of TV and news. And so I saw a certain segment on a show on, because I have Spectrum. I'm not going to say any further what I was watching. But this guy, he's from Barbados. His mother, he moved to Barbados, from Barbados with his mom. His mom became a citizen when he was 9. That usually means, in regular terms, you are a citizen when your mother becomes a citizen, correct?
Naturalized.
Is that correct?
Yes. Naturalized.
So time has gone by in his life. 2016, he's a grown man like, you too. And he was coming back from Barbados and uses Barbados because he has 2 passports or 2 dual citizenship, right? So he uses his ID and he got, basically the trouble started, he got detained. He got detained so much that he was held up in the airport for 68 days without speaking to a lawyer or a judge. Lost his job, lost his place of living. So rightfully so, he's suing, whoever. I don't know. I sue everybody. People who touch me, anything. I'm suing everybody. So he's suing because he lost, those times of his lives, and he can't get them back. And so now he's homeless. So he's suing for the time that he's living couch to couch. He's suing for that time. And when you hear his interview, he's clearly an American. He's clearly has been here. And, the only response that, ICE had was, we're steadily trying to enhance our policies and procedures. And, we continue to look this over. It's unfortunate. It was nothing, no response. So, I think the idea here and, open for discussion is if someone who's clearly an American can get detained for 68 days, what is happening at the hands of folks who are not citizens? Any thoughts on that?
I mean, I hate to make light of this situation, but
please don't. All
right, I won't.
But go ahead. That's Jeff. Go ahead.
I mean, if I get a layover for 2 hours, I'm upset. So 68 days.
Word.
But
Word.
But we know there's a onslaught, right, for individuals who are not. I guess it all goes back to, and it leads back to supposedly quote unquote leadership of this country, right, making America great again, right. Anybody who is black and brown and doesn't walk and talk a certain way, they're either trying to have them leave the country, and if they leave, they're not letting them come back, right, in some way, shape, or form. So I think it's just an unfortunate situation, and the fact that he is an American citizen, I would say, do the interview, that 68 days. I mean, that's just a long time. That's just egregious.
And not talking to nobody.
That's criminal.
This has been done before.
Yes.
If you follow American history, 68 days is like being in an internment camp. And this is very similar to what they did to our Japanese brothers and sisters during World War II, where they began with this mysterious policy. Then before you know it, you weren't considered a citizen. You were a citizen, but you lost your property, you lost your businesses, and then you ended up in this camp type situation for a very long time without proper representation and things of that nature. So historically, this is not the first time that as a country we have resorted to appalling strategies to try to deal with the situation.
155 citizens have been detained because of stupid stuff like this. So Jeff, you were kind enough to get the name, but I also want to bring to the attention of the young man who was shot 10 times by the NYPD for
Saheed Vassell.
Saheed Vassell could have been Kevin Hurston. Kevin Hurston was my brother in Ohio that was called on because he did not take his medication, and his mother at the time called the police, called the hospital, and the police came, not knowing, unwilling, not understanding how to deal with emotionally disturbed people, killed him because they felt threatened. So Kevin Hurston is the same as this. What's his name?
Saheed Vassell.
Thank you. That's all I needed you to do. Thank you so much.
I got you.
Good job. Good job.
And I see an appalling pattern.
It is one.
And another appalling pattern that I'm noticing, the young brother who had a great position with the CDC, upon talking about these virus things could have been prevented, mysteriously disappeared in Atlanta, you know, after getting a promotion. Mysteriously disappeared. They found him yesterday in a river.
Oh, my gosh.
And then it's making me think of that judge, you know,
Oh, my girl.
Judge Salam, who they found in a river. How are these prominent black people who are educated, who are family people, all of a sudden getting these Ron Brown mystery treatment things happening to them?
I don't know that's one with the CDC.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah.
that one. Can you elaborate on that?
All right, so there was this dude. He was coming up in the CDC, you know.
So his father on the news.
So what's CDC?
CDC is like, when it comes to infections and sicknesses and
Center of Disease and Control.
Thank you,
exactly
Jeff.
what it
Jeff
is.
is the guy today. Jeff
Acronym.
is the glossary.
He's an acronym man. You know?
Yes, Jeff is the glossary today. Thank you.
And basically, he indicated or noticed that with this influx of the rate of viruses that has been impacting the country nationwide, it was heavy. Getting sick was real this year.
Absolutely.
You know, it was high. It was spiked.
Yes.
And so he made some comments. And then after making his comments, which I thought was true, he said that he thinks that the flu shot was the cause of this spike. And upon making that statement, he goes jogging. He was found in his jogging shoes. You know, he had this rich dog, right? That everyone knows he loved and all this stuff. It's like a guy on the come up. You know? And all of a sudden, he was gone.
Yep.
Immediately, his parents
Yep.
pursued it. Immediately, everyone's looking for this man.
It was unlike him. Right?
Because it was so unlike him.
Talk to
He
his parents every
he
day.
didn't complain. He wasn't bitching. He wasn't
Right.
like, woe is me.
He was good.
He was good. And all of a sudden, he was gone.
Let me help you out. We watch a lot of shows on TV, like Scandal, maybe back in the day, How to Get Away with Murder, 24. Life is real, right? We think that we watch TV and these things don't happen with the government and the scandals. Obviously, you know, there was big news with Russia, with them putting this agent, whatever it was, and trying to secretly kill these people in another country. So James Bond and all these movies that we watch with these assassins, this is real life. There are real people out there that are trying to take individuals out, unbeknownst to what we think, because we might walk around, maybe we're in a fog. But the things that we see on TV, they are based off of reality in our government. Believe that.
Yeah.
You know, and that also leads to what it takes to be a courageous leader or not. And so when you take a stand, the people that disappear, whether they are killed through technological lynching or through being found in a river, it's because they probably were uncompromised. Some of these people that are leaders have really been compromised. The ones that continue to talk and say these things that are safe have pretty much taken a check. They're allowed to continue. The ones that are not, the ones that have to be dealt with in a certain manner. And we know a number of them. We know people that have compromised and people have not. Some of them have spent time in jail. Some of them have been all of a sudden. I'm not gonna look. I'm a fan of conspiracy theories, and I believe the same thing happened with Michael Jackson. That's just me. I love Michael Jackson, and whoever has a lot of once you start getting the voice of everybody. It's one thing when you get the voice of your block, right, or your people, but once you start getting the voice of like the whole world, or people start talking about bringing everybody together, then oh no, we got to do something about that.
So on that note,
Malcolm X,
who just
Martin
celebrated
Luther King.
50-year anniversary.
Yep.
Martin Luther King.
It will take you
Because he
out.
was all right when he started talking about, you know, his Kenyan theory. He was all right when he was just talking about, like, you know, segregation on Selma, right? But once he came back and started talking about more radical stuff and started dealing with worldwide issues, oh no, we're not having that. And whoever has, and when you start making too much money and you can start buying stuff and changing things around, they do the same thing. Hello, Ray.
Hi.
How are you?
Well, then
Would you
I'm
like to opine?
Yeah. Well, I'm afraid for Tyler Perry
Why is that?
because his studio that he has built is now larger than MGM's.
Oh, really?
Yes, and the fact that Black Panther movie was filmed on that location and is now the top grossing movie of the world, You know, so Tyler Perry is next, and he's
Nah,
all about.
I don't think so. I think he's good.
He just got to wreck a dress in his next joint.
Right.
He's good.
As long as he keeps doing Madea.
Exactly. I mean, that is very critical. That is key.
Black man in a dress,
right?
You good?
Right, you're good.
For a minute.
Ain't nobody messing with him on that. You know,
as a young black man.
The other one, Ryan.
Yeah, no, but as a younger black man than him. I'm
Yeah.
just curious. On our show, we have a young black man, Dave Jackson. And I'm curious, how do you feel about all these things that are going on in the world as a young black man from a conspiracy perspective?
Sometimes I feel like we living in the last days. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Can you elaborate?
Well, just like how you brought up, you know, him being in a dress. Like I remember when I was little, I used to see like comedians, actors, you do that. You thought it was funny, it was comical, but I didn't realize until I got older, like they're really doing things like that to cripple us. Like, remember Dave Chappelle said, I believe it was it Blue Streak, Half Baked? I think it was Blue Streak. They just wanted him to like do a scene where he had a dress and it had nothing to do with the movies. Like, why? And they sent like 5 or 10 people to ask him to do that scene.
But Martin said, "I'll do it."
Well, I think you know, to that point, and we're really getting deep with this, and this is really good. But I think that's part of comedy's way, because I don't know if it's just a black man thing, because they all had Milton Berle had to do it.
Rudy Giuliani.
No. Before that, I'm talking about comedians.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying it's being
that's consistent.
Raised to the political. He's a joke, right?
Yeah, he is a joke.
So along with that,
Flip
with
Wilson
the
did
comedian, exactly, Philip Wilson, Jerry Lewis did. I mean, they all apparently they all have to do that to show the different versatility of them being that. No, I'm saying they all have that to do it.
But the difference is with Jerry Lewis and with Flip Wilson
and Milton
Berle, they ran their production. Flip Wilson was a black man who actually owned his production company. The Flip Wilson show was the Flip Wilson production.
Nice.
That's why he only stayed on for a couple of years.
Right.
So he had creative control. So when you decide it's cool and you create that character,
Right.
Milton Berle owned the production company.
And it won't be demeaning.
Yeah, as opposed to when you don't own it and you get a script and they go, yo, yeah, it's right here and it'll be real cool.
No, that's not right.
Yeah.
But to show your versatility of your talent is what it is when you become, when you can be a woman. I think we're talking two different. I totally agree with you. You should, if you want to look like a woman, you should pay for it.
So how about the converse?
I agree.
You don't necessarily see a lot of women dressing up like men as much as you see men dressing up like women to
I don't
play
think
those
that
parts.
is a converse at all.
No? But you don't see it as much as we see that
really
flip
happen.
side of it.
I don't think that's
see it happen.
entertaining.
It's not funny.
I don't think that's entertaining.
Oh, okay. I
don't
get
know
it.
if that's a Converse thing. I mean, I think
I'm just
you
saying we don't
have,
see it, right?
No, we don't. You're right, and I guess I don't know if as a feminist I would push for that.
No, I mean the thing is
think
that
I
usually,
but
when,
that's a good point.
When men parody women
Right.
in drag, is because they're addressing the imbalance of power, and therefore they are using their male status to bring the voice of women, like John
That's
Leguizamo.
right. Well said.
Yeah, and so when
Men
a man,
women have no reason.
right,
to-
women have no reason to represent men because men control the industry.
Well said. Well said.
I mean, because it's always a parody of the women. Like they're not trying to like display powerful women in these characters outside.
It's always a
It's
mocking.
a
of
mocking.
woman.
Yeah,
It's not a very. No one's ever doing
It's always
a strong
a super
black
stereotype.
woman, a strong white woman, or no one's doing
They
that.
do the angry black
It's always
woman.
It's always a
or
frumpy,
get a girl,
a frumpy woman with big stuff. You know,
Right,
it's never
exactly.
someone
Got
trying
it.
to be like Bruce Jenner's or Kayla.
Right.
No one's doing that.
like,
Got that.
I will never see a Yaz being represented in
Better
community.
not.
No, I won't ever.
I'll never raise see that either.
Right. That would never happen.
So that being said, thank you so much, everybody. We'll be right back.
Play some
Queen
music.
Dream, take us out.
chicken. You know I'm on the grind from sun up to sundown till I see the moon and the stars. Got family to feed, so you know I hustle hard. From the blocks of Brooklyn, so the Ave to be exact. Since a youngin', I was known for the paper stacks. Didn't run with the wolves, I was leader of the pack. Never ran, never will, and you know that's a true fact. Listen, ain't nothing changed, I still go for mine. Forget patiently waiting, man, I'm skipping the line. Like mine on my money, money on my mind. Cut from a different cloth, by my own design. Get the picture, roll to the riches to get richer. Top of the food chain, you still kitty litter. I'm at the finish line, I was born to be a winner. Grind spring, summer, for even harder in the winter. What up?
Long days, long nights, a nigga trapping cause I'm reaching for the stars. Phone clicking like the metronome, baby, is you with the shit or not? Ooh, I'm heavy in the streets, this is light work. Proceed with caution, you don't wanna see the fireworks. My phone clicking like the metronome, a nigga chasing those chicken. Oh yeah.
Long days, long nights. My girl know I'm out getting that cheddar. Hustle all year, even do different weathers. And she love the man I am, cause I am a go-getter. Hold up, studio to studio, shows after shows, videos to interviews, I gotta get the dough. Music in my veins, music flowing through my blood. I do it for the paper, also do it for the...
Yo. Tubby Blue. Shorty bright, she give that good energy. Shorty life, and she don't stun intentionally. Shorty nice, she be like shorty you the shit. And shorty right, yeah that's my best friend. We just be vibing now, I be on stage. She the loudest in the crowd. We in the same city, no time for the selfie. Candace of me, hosting to the sky with my bestie. So don't come for that one, cause I'm coming for you. Pink Glock ready, trigger finger, and I'm gunning for you. Cause I wanna win, she want me to win. The love is genuine, thankful for that. One good friend, that's all I need. Shorty so dope, she just like me. She be all up in the grip, she got her own key. I ever fall off, I know she got me. One good friend. She my chick, she my round, she gon' hold me down. Good friend. And if a wild out, she gon' knock your ass out. Face so sweet, body so mean. Friend. It's just her and me. We the whole shorty so honest. That's why she my friend. We just be chillin', feeling like we on vacation. Taking every country like we one of them Kardashians. Two good guys, sipping pretty in the island. Flew out to Cuba, she got the links, I got the plug. Sand dunes in Dubai, she got the drinks, I got the drug. Teaming like we do, I'm breaking bread, she showing love. Only sweet girl, I blow these kisses, she get hugged. Cause that's my main girl, shorty is the when it come to this one, the mother chick. I love her look, I love her heart. She got style, she smart. We gon' ride to the end, that's why I got one good friend, that's all I need. Shorty so dope, she just like me. She be all up in the grip, she got her own key. I ever fall off, I know she got me. One good friend. She my chick, she my round, she gon' hold me down. Good friend. And if you wild out, she gon' knock your ass out. Good friend. Face so sweet, body so mean. Good friend. It's just her and me.
Look, I got a whole lot of money in my pocket right now. Pocket right now. Pocket right now. Got a whole lot of money in my pocket right now. Pocket right now. Pocket right now. I got a whole lot of problems on my head right now. Head right now. Head right now. I got a whole lot of letters that's dead right now. Dead right now. She be here right now, yo. Who working with the feds? Who snitching on the block? Who putting up the bill? Who love, who not? Punching that clock. This paper don't stop. More money, more problems. Keep shaking, don't stop. Hold on, slow it down a little. Let it bring it back if you in the middle. Yeah, hold on, this is expensive dinner. You know I'm the man, I might blow 100 bands, yeah. She like that. Keep working like that. She ready for whatever. She said it like that. She don't know me like that, but she want me like that. She down for whatever. I'll bring her right back. Jump, jump, jump.
Hey guys, this is JB, and you're listening to OnPoint Experience. We are back live at the OnPoint Experience. So we have a phenomenal array of talent that's going to be here. And before we do that, we certainly will let you guys know what you have been listening to.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Jeff. We just listened to Jux Diamonds with Long Nights. We also listened to Tory Blue with One Good Friend, and we listened to T The Way with Jump.
Quick question: does the word "jux" mean something?
Yes, jux is. This is the Urban Dictionary session where we explain that jux is like a robbery, a setup.
Got you.
I didn't know
So
that.
when you're made to give up
Getting
a
got.
And I must say, the Queen Dream, that I do like the selections that you're picking from all these up and coming artists. So yeah, it's really
Indeed.
flavor.
Indeed. Love it. So, Ray, I think you were going to do a little segue for us.
Of course.
What you got?
I am so happy. It's Saturday morning, and I'm so happy to introduce our next guest, Miss Joann Poe of New York City Best Dressed Cupcakes, who is gifting us with a sample of her beautiful culinary skills. She is a self-taught baker, so she is a home-baked product herself. And we met because we're part of the same class trying to learn how to up our game as entrepreneurs in this busy, busy world of hustle and bustle and being bosses of our own self. So welcome to the show, Joann.
Hello, Joann.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Really appreciate this.
Happy we're here.
So I just want to start you off like, you said in our classes that you taught yourself how to do this, and then you decided to go into business as a self-taught baker.
Yes.
Explain that journey.
Yes, I was a family baker for all the holidays, making cakes and pies and things of that nature. And I enjoyed it. So I used to do fundraisers for schools and bake sales. And I started to notice that my family and friends would constantly ask me to make stuff, and I was making it for free. So I'm like, wait a minute. It must be really good. So
The aha moment.
I started to
volunteer
make
pro bono stuff.
Yes. And it's kind of expensive, eggs and milk and butter. So, I decided to make a business of it. And because I really enjoy it, so this is what I started doing. So I make gourmet custom cupcakes. I'm a catering company. I don't have a storefront. I bake in an incubator kitchen, so it's a commercial space where I just rent it as my orders come in, and I bake it there. So I can sell to stores because I am in a commercial kitchen.
Nice.
So I do catering, and
So can you explain what you brought to us?
So what I brought today, I brought some vanilla cupcakes with vanilla buttercream, and I bought some chocolate cupcakes with vanilla buttercream, and some have actually chocolate buttercream, which I think is my favorite, chocolate on chocolate.
Okay.
And I also have one of my specialties, which is I have an adult line called Happy Spirits, which are alcohol-infused cupcakes, and I also do chocolate-covered strawberries. So today I bought some coconut Ciroc.
Oh.
So that is a vanilla cupcake base with a coconut buttercream and coconut infusion on top, and it's infused with coconut Ciroc. And I brought my top selling, which is the Hennessy one.
Oh.
Hennessy is my top selling cupcake, and everyone loves that one. I also bought amaretto, which is a lighter base for people who really don't drink. I recommend they do the amaretto because it's a light liquor. So when people ask me what should they bring to a party, I give them a selection: Hennessy, of course, and also amaretto. But I do any alcohol, all top shelf. So people just tell me what they want, and I'll create something delicious for them.
So this is interesting, right? This is definitely good for those who, because everybody, some people don't really drink, but I'm sure this might be a little bit of a way to them to get the little alcohol
gateway,
right?
The gateway cupcake,
an 80 proof cupcake, right? So loving it. So hint to those who are out there, if you want somebody to cook something for you, sometime it's not a bad idea to buy the ingredients, so they're not spending the ingredients and their time to make something. So as a businesswoman, you're making this transition from just doing things as a passion and now trying to make money from it. What has been the most difficult transition? Has it been the support of friends and family members that actually want to pay? Or what has been, if any challenges you've experienced trying to make this transition?
The hardest challenge is getting into shops and stores. Because most people already have they vendors in place. They have wholesale and and for for me right now, I can't sell wholesale because I'm not that big as of yet to sell to them, and funding.
Gotcha. Okay.
I also need funding. Right now, I
Yes.
fund myself.
Gotcha.
So all the money that I make selling my product goes back into the business.
Reinvesting.
So that's the main thing, getting the proper funding. So that's what I'm
Gotcha.
working on now. I'm working on with credit counselors and
Cool.
different business.
You're working with who?
I'm business counselor.
No. Credit counselor.
Oh, credit counselor. Oh, that's who you're telling me about.
That guy.
Destiny fulfilled. This is the man I wanted you to meet.
She did mention you. She
So
said
we're not
go
talking
there.
about personal credit. We're also going to help you build out your business credit.
Yes.
Two separate things, but
Yes.
that's important, right? Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Okay.
And I want to let you know, if you're trying to get it into stores, I actually have a storefront, and it's called Jux Cupcakes. So if you let me get these right here,
Cupcakes.
I'm
about that.
Jux, Curtis, Jux.
Oh,
You trying to get me?
Run the cakes.
And your Jex get one sale because it's only going to be him buying it. But it's all good.
Wait, we need to open up because it's called New York City Best
Open up.
Dress.
And you're gonna smell it as soon as you open.
I mean, can you open this up?
Yeah.
Because they need to see these are really beautiful little tiny cupcakes.
And
Like-
you know what sets me apart against other bakers and stuff? Because I
Yes.
love cupcakes.
Okay.
I like baked goods. So I make them as if I was baking them myself. So I don't just use mediocre ingredients. I use good ingredients.
Top-notch stuff.
And you can smell, like when you open this, the smell always hits you. And so I get a lot of comments that not only do your cupcakes taste good and look good, they taste good. And I also do custom decorated cakes. That's what I started doing, cakes. I started off doing custom 3D cakes, but they take a really long time.
Yes.
It's more money because I get big money off the cakes, but
Gotcha.
it's time consuming.
Right.
So what I wanted to do is do something different, cupcakes. I wanted to get a cupcake mobile and just sell my cupcakes around town, but there's a freeze on a mobile truck permit, so I can't get the license
really?
to do that. So that's why I went into catering, because that's the new fad. Have your truck, you just drive around and sell. So I was going to hit the nightclubs with the alcohol cupcakes, go to all the spots during the day, drive by the school parks for the regular cupcakes, but there's a freeze on permits for a food truck.
Really?
So I said, let me do catering. You know, I'm not giving up that easy. So
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, how about a car? Maybe not a truck, right? I don't know.
No, it's about the permits.
I know this is the permit.
Which could, I mean, and the thing is that the freezes were, I mean, that's political. It's like, it's a new type of redlining that they do in our communities, but that's a whole other discussion.
And that really is because most people is in Manhattan. I want to go to the Bronx. There's not too many food trucks in the Bronx.
Right.
You see everything in Midtown. Well, what about the outer boroughs, the other boroughs? You know?
Giuliani
I can
started
do
that. Anyway, but
in your particular craft, I don't think people realize how exacting a science it is. It's science / art when you're dealing with confectionaries, when you're dealing with pastries and things of that nature. So obviously, there were reasons why you chose the things that you chose. Like, why did you go with a buttercream? And like, why you didn't go with a fondant? And like, I'm curious about your mental. in
Well,
this.
for cupcakes, I do if I'm doing a cupcake top because I do custom. So people would tell me what they want, and I'll come up with a creation, or they'll send me a picture. So fondant is mostly used on cakes. Some people like it, some people don't. You know, kids love it, of course, because it's really sweet and it's sort of like a gummy marshmallow taste, but it makes your cakes look really good. So if you guys get a chance, go on my Instagram, which is New York City's Best Dressed Cupcakes, and you'll see some of the cakes that I have done.
So good point. So outside of that, have you delved into getting, like, I had a friend who was in this business and they were trying to go after corporate accounts, right? So you might have a big company that wants to do an event and things of that nature and whatnot, so they might order cupcakes. Is that a path you've gone down?
So that's something that I want to do, but like I said, most stuff
Gotcha.
already made in-house. So I do know people in corporate positions, like I know someone who's high up in Chase.
Okay.
Every now and then she'll get me in,
Gotcha.
but I'll be in with the other because they already have the in-house bakers and cooks.
I see.
So I do a lot of work with New York City Housing.
Nice.
They bring me in sometimes, but like I said, when they do their parties, like I did a party not too far from here. It was on, I believe, 180 Maiden Lane. They did a Christmas party.
Okay.
One year, I bought the cupcakes, but they also had other desserts. I bought
gotcha.
cookies. And I asked them, well, why do you have so many different people? They said because the buildings, like these office buildings, they already have their people who they use.
I see.
So they companies and vendors. So, but I was just happy to be in there. So
No.
people still, it's still marketing for me. People, I got orders from it. I got sales. So that was great.
Awesome. Fantastic. So what's the best way for us? Oh, you guys had a question?
I have a question.
By all means, please.
First off, let me say that you're an inspiration because I too am a home baker and confectionate. So I love the fact that you are inspiring me, as a home baker to go forth with your business. So that's dope. So my question is, I know you know the answer too, but like people, you know, you have like franchise bakeries and stuff like Magnolia or like well-known like bakeries. But it's something about like homemade. What is the difference between like buying a cupcake from, let's say, like BJ's or something like that, as opposed to a homemade cupcake? Like, what do you feel is like?
Well, the first thing is mine is baked with love. I put all my blood, sweat, and toil into it.
Right.
Flavor. Like I said, flavor. I mix my flavors. I come up with unique flavors. Like I have my set of flavor that I'm using with my buttercream. I don't just use regular vanilla extract. I use pure vanilla extract.
Yes.
Like I said, I don't skip. I get the good stuff, and that's what keeps my customers coming back because of the taste. So
Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
yeah. So when you guys taste it, you'll see the difference.
Yes,
like,
yes.
Should we taste it right now?
and if you notice, my cupcakes sparkle.
They do.
That's how you know they're my cupcakes.
They look fresh.
There's
So
a sparkle in every cupcake.
How long ago did you actually make these?
I actually made these on Thursday.
Thursday. Okay.
Thursday, and I wrapped these.
Yes.
These are fresh. Not
Wow.
all are fresh.
They look good. I'm sorry,
Yes.
brother.
So initially I was gonna ask you like the background of the name for NYC's Best Dressed Cupcakes, but if you look at them, this is like self-explanatory. So like I wanted to know, like, is there like a healthy component behind the cupcakes, like gluten-free, anything
No,
like that?
these right here, there's nothing healthy about them.
Okay.
It's just a cupcake. But I actually started a vegan line. So I didn't launch it yet. So what I'll be doing is vegan cupcakes. I'll be doing vegan brownies and vegan cookies. Now those are healthier because like my brownies, the base ingredient would be black beans and oatmeal.
Interesting.
So that's gonna, of course, it's gonna be very healthy.
That sounds like a good breakfast right there.
They're gonna be good. It's not gonna be the average vegan because I get a lot of comments like, well, vegan products don't taste good. Once again, it comes with course. People like to use not the greatest ingredients. Like a lot of people like to use carob chips. Those taste like molasses and maple. So if you don't have that taste for it, I'm gonna use vegan chocolate chips. They're much more expensive, but they taste better. It tastes like a dessert.
Well, you sound real confident in your skills. Do you really think your cupcakes is better than Little Debbie's?
I think they are. I know they are.
There you
Not
go.
even
I know they are.
I don't eat. No, little
Which one
Debbie.
is the liquor one? Which one?
Those
With the little shots.
And yeah, and they also come with 2 little shots. So the
That's
cupcake actually
awesome.
already have alcohol in it, or you can take the shot and you can squeeze it in your mouth, or you can squeeze it back into it.
Now, that's
It's
crazy.
up to you.
Look at Jazz is like so jazzed. For them. Jazz is
Right
jazzed.
on the.
Not that I want to do it, but I think we should do an on-air demo.
I know.
Air demo. And first,
This
take
is
a
how
whiff.
you eat an infused
wait,
cupcake.
take a
Let's
smell.
watch.
Oh my God.
Oh, I smell it.
I want the amaretto.
So amaretto is right there
Is this
with
the coconut?
that's coconut.
Vero G, you could come over and get it.
Can you grab me one?
And is that the
I don't mind the.
That's Hennessy.
on top
Which
of
one
it?
is
It's
it?
Hennessy. It's caramel.
This one.
Okay, the middle is Hennessy.
Yeah, that's obviously Hennessy.
These is coconut. This is the vanilla base, but I usually do a coconut based cupcake, but this base is vanilla because I was doing
And
vanilla.
what's the liqueur? Ciroc?
That's Ciroc, coconut Ciroc.
I
That's
wanna
vodka.
do
Do the
amaretto.
Hennessy.
Vodka,
That-
your names. I can't.
How do you get the
Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be.
How do you get the Hennessy out?
Get a Hennessy, please.
Squeeze it in there or squeeze it in your mouth.
Oh, you squeeze it.
Shot.
And that's real Hennessy. And I also do white Hennessy. Of course, I didn't bring that because white Hennessy is hard to come by.
You might have got jumped. We might have.
Wait, which one do you want?
You might have to go to the
Yeah.
import, export.
Yes.
Get that
So,
yourself.
so white Hennessy, you have to do it on request because it's hard to come by.
Oh, we get lit early in the morning.
Yes.
And you will feel a little bit of something, something.
This
Last
is good
one is-
though, girl.
What?
Thank you. Thank
Everybody,
you.
paper towel, please.
Oh my goodness.
And these are great for bachelorette parties or girls' night out or anytime, just to have them. Dinner parties. Yes, you can either squeeze it into your mouth to get that little shot, or you can squeeze it inside. Yes.
That's crazy. And so have you found, because let's say they squeeze it inside the alcohol, people who don't normally, let's say, indulge straight up, they don't really taste it in the cupcake? I mean, how's
Oh
that?
no, they taste it.
They taste it?
Even people who indulge, they be like, "Oh, these are great." They just squeeze it right inside. They like more alcohol the better. So I tell people who really don't indulge, first take a bite, and then if you want to put the extra in, you put the extra
I
in.
did not. I just squeezed it in.
And if you also notice that they label different, like the alcohol have the little flag, the red flag saying alcohol, as opposed to the regular label. So you can't say your kids didn't know this is alcohol.
Like, Mom, them the best cupcakes
drunk, but you was
we ever had.
Ma, I just wanted
a bite.
Best dress and best tasting. Oh, this is delicious.
We'll be right back. Joann Poe, did you tell us where we can get all your information?
Yeah. So you can reach me on Facebook, New York City's Best Dressed Cupcakes, and that's NYCSBESTDRESSED, Best Dressed Cupcakes. You can reach me on, I have a website, New York City's Best Dressed Cupcakes.com, Instagram. You can send me requests. You can call me. My number is 917-733-4077. Like I said, I am a caterer, so you have to place your orders in advance. If you're doing cupcakes, you could give me a 2 or 3 day minimum, but if you want a custom decorated cake, that takes more time. It depends on how much detail, and the prices vary. But the cupcakes start at $25 and up.
For what, a dozen?
For a regular vanilla and chocolate. The alcohol infused ones start at $45 a dozen and up.
Well, if people are saying, why so much for a cupcake, you have to taste it. It is really worth it.
I dare say it's the best undressed damn cupcake.
I dare say.
I heard.
So,
glitter.
A lot of glitter on my hands.
Yes, that's my signature.
I love it.
That's how you know it's mine.
A lot of glitter on my hands. So now we know what you've been eating. Women can't lie. Men can't lie. What you been eating? I was at Joann's. I ain't gonna front.
Exactly.
Okay, we'll be right back, everybody. On Point Experience. Queen Dream, take us out.
Best dressed cupcakes.
So, we'll be right
Yeah. Hey, Rock, I think we got this one. Anna, baby. Woo.
Ride, why you riding mine? Ride, why you riding mine? Kill yourself, slit your wrist, take your life. Cup a pound, break it down, blow it down. Got a million for the case, put some money in your face. I see all the bad, getting money in the face. Looking for a pool bear, put this honey in your face. Bars hitting so hard, thought my shoe blazed. Ride, why you riding mine? Ride, why you riding mine? Kill yourself, slit your wrist, take your life. Cup a pound, break it down, blow it down. I've been chasing mine so my haters they can shine. I've been grinding all day, I've been writing all night. All I see is bigger picture cause I'm sick of being blind. Dreaming of a hue blow, when it's mine, it's my time. Give me that back up, give me space. I ride on top, give me face. Money bag, I bank, you chase. 100 racks, I stash, you pray. Got a pocket full of whoops and they waiting on me. Handful of rat whoop that they hating on me. I ain't never give a whoop, so I keep it on me. Instagram private, cause I keep it low key. Is that your wife, big man? That's your son? She don't love you, animated. Red light, green light, gotta run. Yeah, she love it every time I make it. Work hard, I ain't gotta apologize. B.I.G. can't you see, hypnotized. It's going down, but I'm always on the rise. Realize. Ride, why you riding mine? Ride, why you riding mine? Kill yourself, slit your wrist, take your life. Cup a pound, break it down, blow it down. Got a million for the case, put some money in your face. I see all the bad, getting money in the place. Looking for a pool bear, put this honey in your face. Bars hitting so hard, thought my shit blazed. Ride, why you riding mine? Ride, why you riding mine? Kill yourself, slit your wrist, take your life. Cup a pound, break it down, blow it down. My squad, we the great. Simmer down, pipe down, here to hate. High and by, what's good? See the fake? See the hype, break them off, make them wait. I shoulda, woulda, coulda, cause I'm unstoppable. Cam knew a ton when he plays, I'm inaudible. Y'all slow, y'all dumb, hear the line. Helen Keller could've even see the sign. Better black, here's a chip, roll a dice. Hit it once, level up, hit it twice. Get a coupe, drop top, we shine. You got yours, why you riding mine? Ride, why you riding mine? Ride, why you riding mine? Kill yourself, slit your wrist, take your life. Cup a pound, break it down.
Yeah. My money staking way up. Yo, wanna lay up and just get. Yeah. You can't afford this whip, it's too. Can't tell me shit right now, I'm too. Head in the clouds, I would never look down, no. Way up. Yo, wanna lay up and just get. Yeah. You can't afford this whip, it's too. Can't tell me shit right now, I'm too. Head in the clouds, I would never look down, no. Had to show 'em I was serious. Had to show the whole world my flow was the realest. And I ain't never back down from the and I get it. I get it, I get it. And if you send me a beat, my nigga, I'ma kill it. Killing it, killing it. Here, hit this shit, it'll have you on the ceiling. On the Wednesday, taking shots for no reason. Just me and my girlfriend and all my heathens. I got more shit where this come from. I got the heat, don't play though. Rolling the sweep like the blazer. I do this shit while I'm rapping. Booking a show out in Manhattan. I do this shit while I'm trapping. Don't make me mess up like a murder baby. Get bitches shit, get tragic. Put money out the head like magic. Houdini, your bitch out of panties. Your nigga told you that no scammers. Been trust your boy, now you in your feelings. Your nigga 16, one real women. I remember that. When I was 18, I was stripper tipping. So how right now I think I'm some money staking well. Yo, wanna lay up and just get. Yeah, you can't afford this whip, it's too. Can't tell me shit right now, I'm too. Head in the clouds, I would never look down, no. Yo, wanna lay up and just get. Yeah, you can't afford this whip, it's too. Can't tell me shit right now, I'm too. Head in the clouds, I would never look down, no.
Daddy, tell me that I'm reckless, but I just sit back and count my riches. And I put these diamonds in my necklace. I ain't worried about, I'm counting these figures. I tell this that he will let my figure, cause daddy love my body. Put me on a plate and eat the after dinner. He knows this is sweet. Pull up in something like it's Halloween. When you see an end of the you know to salute the whole team. I'm on my side, CB Bayan. You know they call me the Eagle Queen. I stand by myself, I stand with a king. I stand for a cause, my handle is me. I'm keeping 100, I'm living a dream. I'm getting a scream, I'm making you scream. You're missing my name when we on the scene. She knows I'm a star, I make a movie. The money OD, I holla.
Well, I gotta be on point. I got the on point experience. You know why? Because my name is Dr. Dre. I got the Yasmin on point experience. I got the Big Jeff on point experience. I got the Ray on point experience. And of course, I'm with the man D Nasty with the on point experience. Because that's the only way Dr. Dre rolls. On point experience.
All right, and we're on, guys. We're on, guys.
Welcome back, everybody.
And we just listened to Anna Baby with Ride and Hook Jr. featuring Anna Baby with Too High Remix.
So we're back, and now this is my segment that I'm happy to introduce part 2 of online security for tech tips for the masses.
Sound like some little Mario Brothers music right here.
No, it's more like this bossa nova, you know. Yeah, like right there. No, you know, all those beats started off on the. It's a Casio freaking basic. You know, remember the Casio?
It's a Donkey Kong beat right here.
It's definitely a sample of when Mario gets the star and
But that's an actual official old school beat from the Brazilian music. That's what they use to.
You know I'm old school. I said Donkey Kong. Yeah.
Of course. I mean, it also sounds like Qbert. I was a queen of Qbert. But anyway, back to tech tips on the online security part 2. So I just want to know, can anybody explain to me what is the difference between a modem and a router? Anybody?
One starts with an M, one starts with an R.
Oh, okay. Actually, you know what? You're correct. Well, basically, people know about installing antivirus software for your computer to prevent malware. But people don't understand that a lot of times when you get online, when you buy online services, you also have to protect your router. The modem is the device that connects you to the actual internet.
Right.
So it is that system that you use to plug it in. The router is the thing that connects to the modem that allows you to connect all your other devices, your computer, multiple computers, sometimes your TV or your Apple Play TV. So one thing is that router is also just as vulnerable for attacks. And you know who, it's so easy, especially when you use Wi-Fi networks, you know who has not protected their router. Because when you go online and you go on Wi-Fi and you see the list of people, Wi-Fi connections, even though they have that little lock on it, The ones that don't have a unique name, like it doesn't say, like mine is Tough Guy and Fat Boy. I named it after my cat.
Right.
So that's my router, but that's because I went online to protect and secure that.
Correct.
When people just have the whatever number is -5G, and it's just like with the standard template,
customize it.
they have not customized it. That means that they're still using the generic initial password to that router, which is very susceptible to hackers. When they go online and they go through the Wi-Fi networks, they look for those people that use the generic. They have they have coding and algorithms that look for that, and they have the list of passwords, because Spectrum has Squirrel 705 as a standard password. They know what the passwords are, and they're able to go in through your system through your router. So no matter what type of antivirus software you may have on your computer, sometimes these hackers are able to go through to your computer through your router. So how do you fix that? It actually is kind of labor intensive, so you need to really watch some video tutorials. But it starts with you opening up your browser and going to the actual address of your router, which is uniformly, no matter where you are, starts with 192.168.1.1. That's how you get
that by heart.
Well, that's because that's uniform. That's no matter what it is. Now, depending on your service provider, where you are using Spectrum or Optimum or whatever it is, Verizon Fios, they will send you that your router's address. They will send you the unique router address, which doesn't really stray. It's either 192.168.1000.1 or 192.168.100.1, but it's always really similar. And there, you go in there, and then it asks you to, that's where you go in to change your name of your router and your password, and that's where you customize it. And that's so important now in these times when we're experiencing so many internet hacks, where our information is not protected on Facebook. Like, we're getting attacks, there's internet theft every 2 seconds in the United States.
Number one crime.
Saw the commercial.
Number one. I mean, and that is such a real thing. I mean, and when Experian promotes the ad to go see whether your name has been hacked and you're in the dark web, do that also. And so, and just to repeat a former tech tip about when you're doing online financing, and if you're not fortunate enough to have, really try to use, if you have a line, do not use Wi-Fi to do any type of banking transactions. That is still the most secure way to check your bank account, to buy anything with PayPal or whatever you use, Venmo or Stripe. Anytime you have to do any type of transaction where the money is being exchanged, make sure you use the device that's hardwired to your router and your modem. Do not use that Wi-Fi connection if you're at home. And if you don't have that Wi-Fi, if all you have is Wi-Fi, but at work you have a hard line connection, an actual hard line connection, do that, do those financing stuff, like wait till you go to work during your lunch break, in your free time, do those transactions, because it is now becoming so endemic how they're taking money, you're getting, you're paying for things. Sometimes it's little thefts. Like $2 a month, but it's like you never knew that, and somebody just coming in from millions and millions of accounts. It does add up. Like you won't even notice these things, and you just go to investigate all of your online accounts, whether store accounts, bank accounts, or coupon accounts. Always investigate, always be on top of that. And so go take your time to learn how to protect your router from internet hacking by creating your unique name and password. Do not depend on the password that your provider has given you. So that's my tech tip.
So
yes. Well, I was just going to say, I listened to all of my segments. I listened to all of your segments. And, the way to address, I think, the financial bill paying is to a point that Jeff raised. You got to, maybe you do the alerts, right? And then you pay it routinely, right? So then you don't have to worry about keep paying it online. You already have a method in place where I don't know if it's the alerts, but more or less it just takes it out of your account once a month at a certain time.
Auto pay.
Thank you so much for that. You have a glossary today.
Yeah, auto pay. Right.
Oh my God.
Easy setups. Y'all making it easy for me. Don't ask me anything difficult.
Boom, boom. I feel like I'm in $100 million pyramid. So yeah, but I think that that works, right? So you don't have to continuously do that stuff at work. Oh my God, I forgot to pay. Let me right here. I'm at Union Square Market Wi-Fi that I'm using, and those things are really important. I have to commend you because in order to know tech, you have to really pay attention to detail. And the fact that you know those numbers, that we were all looking at you like, what numbers are those?
It's the first thing I look at to see whether you're protected.
I'm glad you're on my team, B. I'm glad you're on my team because I'm not reading all that. So thank you for that, Ray.
You know, here's my point: is that, man, don't you think it's difficult, right? So, you know, it's not a bad idea these days, almost to go get like a check or a money order, because it's so difficult for us to be off the grid. Right, you order something from Wayfair, Walmart, PayPal, all these other different things that we do, and I just look at my daily routine in order just to be convenient. It's almost impossible to be off the grid.
Yo, I feel like I'm into writing, sending checks.
We need to get back to that. I need to get some stamps,
and I don't want to pay a fee no more. I'm tired of paying fees. I'm giving a check. I'm writing a check. I'm with you on that, Jeff.
I mean,
if you come out with a stamp process, I might buy it.
I'm also like,
well, it has to be kind of federated.
I mean, and if you live in a neighborhood that still has a lot of cash-based businesses, I mean, the only time I carry cash in my pocket now is to just buy the vegetables from all my vendors. I don't actually buy it because all we're doing is getting, what they're selling is the same stuff that they're selling in the supermarket, just the ugly versions of it. And I don't care how my vegetable looks before I chop it up because I'm going to eat it all the same. So, we should kind of learn how to go off grid.
But control the off grid when you need to.
Right, exactly.
Because we still have to be like a modern time.
Right. No, absolutely. And
you can't be scared. I mean, these are not scare tactics you're sharing. You're sharing these tactics for us to
be empowered,
aware,
right?
But not to stop.
No, do not stop. It's just that to always have a balance because you don't want to be vulnerable to just always to be dependent on the tech person to do all the security for you. Right. Is that we have to empower ourselves like anything. Like when you rent an apartment, read your lease, see what you're actually agreeing to. Like in the same thing when you're buying technology and you're bringing in these outside sources into your phone, read the fine print, ask your tech questions. What can they do better? Like just do those type of things because you cannot be solely dependent. They're going to sell you a product and they're not going to sell you a protection.
But aren't we so quick to hit accept? I mean, how many times you do an airline?
I don't read the terms.
Account?
I don't
read it.
I hit it to move to get my product.
Accept.
So guys, I want to say this was a great segment. Tech Tips is the joint.
The joint.
And we'll be right back because we have a great guest coming on.
Yes.
Ray, thanks for paying attention to details. So now I'll call you before I read the. I'll send the term to you. And you read it before I hit click.
I know
exactly. Because I know you're going to read it.
Yes.
We'll be right back, everybody.
Vero G, can't live without you.
No puedo vivir sin ti.
Cool breeze.
Te quiero, mami. Tú eres el amor de mi vida. Sin ti, no sé qué hacer. Esta canción es para ti. Ya tú me conoces. Tú sabes cómo yo soy. Siempre pensando en ti. No te olvidaré.
Este dolor me está matando. Quiero que estés conmigo. Ser parte de mi fantasía. Quédate en mi vida. Can't live without you. No puedo vivir sin ti. You are my world. I'm nothing without you. No, 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 no. I wanna be your girl in your world. No, 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 no.
Bachatealo, mami. Echa todo eso para acá. Aprovechate. Gózalo. Esta noche es tuya. Yo tengo lo que tú necesitas. Cuando te miro, te deseo.
Nuestro amor será nuestra historia. En los próximos años.
This is Carl Gray, the founder of the Young Gifted and Black Entrepreneurial Awards, and you are listening to OnPoint Experience, the official media partner for our 12th anniversary celebration of the unsung heroes and heroines. So, get on point with OnPoint as we build together and strive towards the continued pursuit of success.
And thank you so much. Welcome back to OnPoint Experience. Big shout out to Cordy Ho, Cortland Hankins. He is my friend in my mind and outside of my mind. He works with everybody. I want to thank him. He knows why I'm thanking him. And also to Jeff Watson. I want to thank him too. And you'll see why soon, coming up in mid-April. That being said, we're here with a very talented guest. Queen Dream, could you please give us the honors of what we just heard?
Yes. We just heard Can't Live Without You featuring Cool Breeze by, drumroll, Vero G.
Now, who is that? Who is Vero G? She is a model, a poet, an actress. Veronica Gonzalez, a.k.a. Vero G, is a 31-year-old Latina born and raised in the Lower East Side. She is a singer-songwriter model. Her genre of music is R&B, but that's not what we heard. We heard bachata.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. She has some experience with the music industry, and the ins and outs of how it works. She's a member of the junior high school 22nd school. Junior high school 22?
Yeah, 20.
Really?
Yeah,
school choir now?
That was years ago.
Oh, okay. You should
they changed the
update
name
your
now.
bio, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
she's like, wait a minute, I gotta update them.
But that's all right. You was a member of the Change Choir with Al Sharpton. Al
Yes.
Al Sharpton was in the choir too?
Well, no, he was like.
This was his choir?
Yeah, yes, fam. Yes.
And your influences are Mary J. Blige, which is like my best friend in my mind. Alicia Keys, Selena, and Mariah Carey. So, is it okay to say Vero G?
Of course, you said it right on.
Oh, we
right,
did?
right on point. Get it?
Well, we want to congratulate you.
That's right.
No pun intended. We want to congratulate you for releasing your first single, "Addicted."
Yes, thank you.
Okay, and so I want to say I met her when we were standing online outside in the cold.
Where?
We were in the Bronx. No, it was in Queens.
Queens,
It was in Queens. We were waiting for the Urban web series to open, their award ceremony, and
for the Rodent show.
For the Rodent show, I'm a fan of Rodent, big time. And so and I'm also a fan of your show now.
Oh,
okay.
stop it.
And so we were online, and so I was like, well, what do you do? She says, well, I'm a social worker on, what's the show?
Crime Heights. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, Vero G, welcome.
Thank you so much.
So it all works when you communicate with people. I could have probably just been talking to you on Facebook all this time, but thank you for asking, and you're on now.
Thank you so much. On point. That's right.
Thank you for saying that.
You're welcome.
So what should we call you today, Veronica or Vero?
Vero G.
Vero G?
Okay, whatever. I know something nasty. I'm happy with it.
Okay. So Vero G, we ask you to stay on the mic as you keep talking to us. And first, tell us a little bit about what inspired you to start singing. Because everybody thinks they could sing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Who told you, what made you realize that this was something that was a gift and you should share it with everyone?
Wow, that's a really good question. Since the age of 7, music has always been a passion of mine, and my parents always influenced me, say, listen, if you got something as a beautiful talent from God, go for it, why not, So at usually the age, I would say, when I was in junior high 22, when we did the school choir, I realized, I said, I worked well with the team, with the choir itself, with the people there, and overall it was just an amazing experience, and I felt like I could get something out there to the world to explore it, and also to have people inspired from what I do. So from that point on, from junior high school, I feel like I have a mission to do, and I went through stuff and back in my life in the past, but now, like I said, I'm here standing on my 2 feet, and I'm happy to be with you guys today on the show, and it's so much to talk about, but yeah, I'm here.
Well, welcome. So,
thank you.
When did you decide to leave the choir world and decide to become an independent artist?
Ooh, I like this. Okay, so yeah, I started. Very good question. After I left with Al Sharpton, the group, the Change Choir, I felt like I was going through some personal things at that time, and I felt was going to college and then having my son, I took time to take a break from music. But then eventually the music was still there, no matter what. Like, it's songwriting, I did poetry too as well. So I said, you know what, it's something that is embedded in me. I have to just go out and do it. So I started doing open mics and showcases, and I continue on. And I'm happy to say I'm still working. Ooh, still working. I'm excited.
What and how do you choose a genre? How do you go from R&B to bachata? Like,
oh yes, she's good. She's good. No, seriously. It's me because in the album itself, Trials and Tribulations. I like to blend it up. Instead of it just being like one genre, R&B and soul. It's good to mix up a little bit. So I feel like in this album itself, I like to do bachata, reggae, pop, R&B, all that good stuff. So I feel like it's, as an artist, you have to like come out of your comfort zone and kind of blend it with everything that's happening.
You talked about you had gone through some changes.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if you want to delve into that a little bit.
No, sure, please. I'm an open book. Go ahead.
Okay. But before you tell us all that, just really wanted to get an idea. What made you, sometimes that brings out a creativity. Mary J. Blige, as you said, whenever she's going through something bad, like her best music comes out.
Yeah. Oh, man, you know that.
So,
I ain't gonna cry.
Why did you stop? Why did you stop, your skill, your talent, or your passion during the times you were going through something, as opposed to letting it grow more during that time?
That's a good question. Honestly, at that time, I'm talking about my book real quick. It's called Trials and Tribulations, an autobiography of Vero G. Actually, this is called discuss about that time frame where I took a break from music, and basically, it's hard for me to talk about it, but I decided to, in this book, I have to reflect on what I've gone through in the past before I went back to the music. I went through a lot, and I was at that time in a domestic violence relationship, and I was, that was my son's father, and we had a kid together. So it was like, at that time, it was where I was stuck in the middle between like going to school, dealing with my son's father, and also dealing with the situation with music. It was like music was there, but it was just basically like on the back burner, And I felt at that time, as a situation, a scenario, I felt like I need to focus on my being a mom, being a wife, or not even a wife, being a girlfriend, basically.
Wifey.
Yeah, wifey, there we go. At that time, even though going through a situation that was kind of out of my hands, So.
Well, I'm glad you're out of it, because
Thank
I'm
you.
glad that you were able to come out
Yes,
to produce a new album, I guess. Can you talk about some of the topics that you're covering in some of these songs? Because
yes, definitely.
Summertime Sadness.
Ooh, yes. Yes,
that makes me feel. I was like, okay.
She getting sad already.
So tell us a little bit about the the music.
Of course, definitely. So, guys, with the music itself, there's for example, you mentioned Summertime Sadness. That song itself is actually Lana Del Rey. She did the background song, the background vocals, because she did that song a couple years ago. So I feel when I heard that song, the concept of that, I feel like at the time, it's something, when someone leaving, you feel sad, you feel blue, you want to hang out, have a good time outside. So I feel at the same time, it's kind of like a suicidal thoughts to that. So it's kind of like a blend to the song itself with Summertime Sadness, which she's saying, and then I put on my concept on that. Yeah, and everything else in that album, it talks about different things of abusive relationship. Fun times, of course, we can't always be sad, so we have to have good music in there, so,
Like Island Vibes.
Yes! Oh, she like, let me double check this.
So also in your style of music, and kind of going back into you, one of the things we like to delve into is like what is inspired by you creating your sound. I see you wrote a book.
Yes. So I besides like being an artist and a model and all that stuff, I'm also an author and a poet. So I have actually published 13 books so far.
Oh,
13?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, and I'm working on my 14th one as we speak. Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm working. I'm trying to stay busy.
That's what's up.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, you should make me blush up here. Okay. So back to the book. So she's like, they got those cat eyes. Anyway, so it's called Trials and Tribulations, an autobiography of Vero G. And basically it talks about, like I said, being a domestic violence victim, being a rape victim, being homeless and pregnant. I went through so much with the short span of life I have so far, and this is basically my testimony out there. And I want people to be inspired from this book. Even going through my childhood and things I encountered, which it's not great, but you know what? I look back at it now and I appreciate now who I am now, being a humble individual, before anything, and appreciating what you have.
Well, I mean, I really gotta commend you because you're telling me this story, but I'm meeting this really beautiful, sunny, optimistic,
Thank you,
awesome personality. So I'm like, so I'm really gonna be reading your book and listening to your music.
Hey,
because,
I appreciate it.
Because I mean, it is hard to overcome all those obstacles.
Yes. Yes.
What was it like? What can you talk about? The specific moment where you climbed out of that?
Oh wow. When the time frame when I was we really like made like basically the opening call for like realize that to get the relationship and wake up and get out of it was basically I just after 5 years being with him I said, you know what, that's it. I can't deal with this anymore.
You're gonna die.
Yeah, mija. Yeah, and then my son he was witnessing some of this stuff too. So I said for his sake I gotta stop. So eventually what happened, I'm in my apartment at the time, and he almost, I don't want to get into detail because the book says more about it, but there was a part where I almost died in my apartment because of him. And after that scenario, I told my mom, I went to her house, I did everything, everything from the law, the good stuff. And eventually, he's out of my life. I mean, he's here and there for my son, but he's more or less, I'm more like a dad and mom to my son, basically.
As an artist, you do a lot of things.
Yes.
Which one do you find to be more fulfilling? You act, you write, you sing.
Yes.
Which one gives you the most enthusiasm, gives you like a nice charge?
Ooh, out of all things, I would say music. Because music's always going to be in part of me. And, like what things I can relate to or anybody out there, like even from domestic violence or lots of good stuff. I can relate. I want to put it out there. Good stuff out there so people could just really appreciate, Good music now,
Gotcha. So who, in your opinion, is someone you look up to on the singing tip?
Ooh, that's a good question. Oh my God, you guys got questions here. Yeah, so I would say honestly, you just mentioned Mary J. Blige. That's one of them. Also, I could mention is Alicia Keys. They really are. You could tell they're really good what they're doing, and they have good stories behind that. In their music.
What we want to do is we want to take a quick, just to listen to one of your pieces,
Sure,
and maybe we'll
yes.
come back. And maybe do something between you two. We have our lyricist extraordinaire in our house too.
Shoot, now
so
we
maybe you
on
guys
it.
can vibe it up. But just do a real piece. What are we gonna hear?
Broken Dreams.
Yes, with artist for lyrics, featuring your girl here, Vero G. Oh, I'm so excited.
So tell us a little bit about that before we bring it on.
Yes. Okay, so we're talking about abusive relationships. That's exactly the concept for this song. So where you guys are about to hear right now. And I'm super excited because we just did this song not too long ago. A big shout out to Eddie, engineer, and David Music for the production. Just let me know a shout out to them. And Real Lyrics is hearing this. He's listening right now. What's up, Real Lyrics? He's somewhere around here. Yeah, he's like, wow, this is my name right now. I hear it. So yeah, we did the song together. And we just made the thing of the concept of abusive relationships, things that we all, again, relate to, and we put it out there. And so far, real quickly, I'm not going to just, I have to say, because it was amazing, I have a YouTube channel, but I usually don't get that many views as it is, which is weird. But, quick story.
Okay.
Overnight, I put the video up, not the video, you put pictures of collage, and you put the song and stuff like that. And true story, guys. The next day, I woke up. We have over 1.4K views.
Oh my God!
I was like dancing.
People love entertainment.
Yes, I was
People
like
love entertainment.
I cried. I called the artist. I was like, listen, are you sitting down? He's like, yeah. I was like, do you know that we have over? And he's like, no way.
No, he's not messing you. So
Yeah.
we'll be right. We'll listen to it real quick.
Yeah.
asking you a question. I'm asking you a question here. What do I gotta do to stop all this bullshit? Because I'm not your child. I'm your husband. That's what you need to learn.
Broken dreams, broken dreams.
Yeah, these broken dreams can never be fixed. She walking down the street with a broken heart. Broken dreams can never be fixed.
Broken dreams, broken dreams. Done with all this nonsense. Break away from this. Tomorrow will be a better day. So wake up and pray. From this night, man, I live every day. Wanting a better life. What more can I say? Broken dreams, broken dreams.
Yeah, these broken dreams can never be fixed. She walking down the street with a broken heart. These broken dreams can never be fixed.
So that was Broken Dreams, if you didn't know. Thank you for that, Vero G. Hey, Curtis, so, I mean, what do you think we can do with these two right here?
Well, we're fortunate. We're right now at the OPE recording studio.
Yes, we
and
are.
we have our engineer, Queen Dream, was able to get financing through Jeff. He hooked it up. He got us a great line of credit through his relationship with Will Townsend. So it's amazing what we do here.
Wow.
And so we're going to play this beat, and you're going to hear the first production of OPE's musical extravaganzas.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, baby, I love you. You drive me crazy too. Yeah. I tell you this amazing point. You can't tell me no more.
Can't tell you no more, that is so much love. A wonderful gift blessed from above, from God. You've been put into my life to make you a lovely wife. No tripe, no strife, it's us against the world. Forever and ever, you and I and you, we gon' bring it together. For years to come and months and sure. Best believe that we overjoyed, we will implore.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, baby, I love you so. You changed me in so many ways. You tell me things I need. Can't tell you more.
Changing forever, never ever changing for the worse. Yes, we changing for the better, so we grow together. We was rooted in the ground, trees branched up and shedded up the town. You already know just what it is. Both of us together, we just handling biz. It's real love, not fake. A popcorn love is honest. Best believe reputation's never ever tarnished.
It's Vero G in the place to be. She likes to act. She can also sing. She can also write. And we're on the mic. On Point Radio, we makes it tight. Aight, that's it.
Amazing. Fire. Awesome. Wow. You got me hype.
You're so talented in here, I tell you.
Oh, stop it. You giving a lunch.
So Vero G, we want to thank you so much for coming on Point Experience. We value every bit of independent artist that comes on. We want to keep you hold this date, and we told this to Joann too. Our second anniversary is coming up on June 20 something. We'll give that to you now.
Something to that extent.
If you do any event, we want to make sure you come to our second anniversary event. On Point Experience has been on for 2 years. It's in May. And so, we're going to be on, and so we want to make sure that the cupcakes are there. And we want to make sure we have friends and music happening. So this is an opportunity to showcase what you do.
Definitely.
So again, how can we contact you?
Sure, definitely. So my YouTube channel is VERO2884. My Reverb Nation page is Vero G. My Facebook artist page, Vero G. Also, my Twitter is VERO2884. My SoundCloud is long. I'll make it short. VERONICAGONZALEZ11. Forgive me, it's a lot of numbers. I know.
We'll put it on the website.
No, Instagram. Okay, Instagram is
you can
Diva.
come to our page. And
Yeah, right. Pretty much.
Your Instagram is?
Instagram is Diva and Diamonds. DIVA. The letter N behind that. Diamonds. DIAMONDS. Also, I just want to make a quick announcement. If that's okay.
Sure.
Okay, Mamita. So I really this week or so I had the honor, and I'm so honored to mention you guys here, the first listening to it. Yes. I am nominated for. Oh my God, I'm excited for Independent Artist Music Awards this year in June. They have the awards ceremony. So I'm one of the nominees for the Pop and Latin, and so I'm excited for that. Yeah, I don't cry. I cried last night. I don't want to cry now. Maybe afterwards. I could make up. No, man, I wish. No, seriously. But I'm at the site. So if you guys wanna, I'm just putting a plug in. If you want to vote for me or any artist there as well for Independent Artist Award Show, it's www.ldmradio.vote. So sorry.
Do us a favor.
Okay.
We're gonna do that. But
okay.
Just put it on our page. and then we'll share it.
I'll send you the
Okay?
information,
Link us, share it. Let's get one of those 1.4 viewers that you got too on
Yeah,
that.
I'm trying. I'm pushing. I'm
Put it on our page, and then we'll share it to everybody.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
And a big shout out to you as well, Yasmin.
Oh no,
Thank
you're
you
so
for
kind.
the
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Look what happens when you stand in line with people, right?
See, you never know. It's true though. You never know.
You
A
never
big
know.
shout out to you for the OnPoint crew. You guys are
Thank you so
amazing.
much.
You're welcome. For Cool Breeze, Vero Lyrics, all the amazing my supporters, my fans,
I
Gary.
hope you
all
get
guys.
this award because you sure preparing for your award.
What? Listen, I'm about to write this.
She won already. She won.
Man, listen, I work so hard, girl. I'm trying.
So Vero G, thank you so much for coming on
Thank
Point
you.
Experience. We'll be right back with Single Mom Chronicles. Thank you so
Ooh.
much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, these broken dreams can't never be fixed. She walking down the street with a broken heart. These broken dreams can never be fixed.
Broken dreams, broken dreams.
Yeah, these broken dreams can never be fixed. She walking down the street with a broken heart. Broken dreams can never be fixed.
Broken dreams, broken dreams. Done with all this nonsense, break away from this. Tomorrow will be a better day, so wake up and pray. From this nightmare I live every day, wanting a better life. What more can I say? Broken dreams, broken dreams.
Yeah, these broken dreams can never be fixed. She walking down the street with a broken heart. These broken dreams can never be fixed.
Kids getting older, worrying about their mother, sticking around in the brutal relationship. Who right, who wrong, who really cares? Mama losing so many tears, she can't believe the man she fell in love. He changed like the sun but breathe, catching so much the pain, fighting and biting and yelling and screaming. Kids is crying and yelling and say to daddy, won't you leave my mama alone? I'ma dial 911, pick up the ratchet and say to put the phone down, and hit his wife in back of the head with the bottle of liquor. I know you have excessive with the center. His wife looking puzzled out, I like she saw a goat. No one being clueless and hesitating. She grabbed her kids and ran downstairs and through the front door, hop of the whip, heading north. He started yelling, "Where you going with my kids?"
Broken dreams, broken dreams. Done with all this nonsense, break away from this. Tomorrow will be a better day, so wake up and pray. From this nightmare I live every day, wanting a better life. What more can I say? Broken dreams, broken.
This is former New York State Assemblyman and current New York County Democratic leader Keith Wright, and you're listening to On Point Experience.
All right, and you just listened to Broken Dreams by Vero G.
Wow, we just heard her. She was awesome.
Yes.
Such great passion, I want to say.
Hey, Yaz, before we go to the next section, can I get a disclaimer in, please? I guess that's a yes. And I need my man Jeff to co-sign that the glitter on my clothes is from cupcakes.
It's from cupcakes, dude.
Because I have a meeting, then I'm going home, and I need you to co-sign the glitter on my suit is from cupcakes. You hear that, people?
Shining, kid.
Not a woman named Cupcakes.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you.
It's an actual. You should just bring her one.
The glitter looks good on you, though.
Just
brother.
bring her one.
Bring home one so I can take the. Okay, yeah.
No, one of these.
Okay.
No,
Wait, just on a cupcake. Nah.
Bring her one, and then you guys share it together. That's the way to do that.
Big shout to my girl Cupcakes.
After you said that, big shout out to Cupcake.
Cupcakes and Henny.
I love this.
So big shout out also to Assemblyman Keith Wright, or former Assemblyman Keith Wright, and Ray. We're about to all come together and put together a strategy of changing the world for the better. And again, we'll announce that probably in a couple of weeks too. A lot of things happening in April.
Yes.
April is Make a Difference month. But this is my segment that I really enjoy. It's called Single Mom Chronicles. And, you know, this segment for me is really not about, you don't have to be a single parent to get this, but you just got to understand what we go through when we talk about these things. And my segment this week is to just really talk about managing communications amongst different generations. You know, sometimes we find ourselves in a workplace, in a non-for-profit, whether it's for-profit, non-for-profit, or even doing a volunteer effort, that you have to work with different people that come from different times in our lives. And understanding how to talk to them is very critical in getting the most productivity out of each one of them. I'm sure you all have dealt with that. As a matter of fact, I just heard that Jeff and Joann talked about working Verizon. I'm sure you had to deal with different types of generations and communicating with them. So that being said, that this segment is to hopefully explain a little bit about the different types of generations we work with. It's not going to be that long. We only have a couple of minutes left. But the different types of generations that we work with, and probably what's the best way of communicating with them. It's important to realize that each generation has its own unique characteristics, and ways of communicating with one another is just so critical with both the older and younger generations. So we're going to first talk about them, and I'll first line them together. There's the traditionalists, the boomers, the Generation X, Generation Y, and as we all know, Generation Z. Now, this is to help you understand that some of you all think that y'all on certain generations, but hopefully this will tell you the traditionalists, also known as the silent generation, are individuals who are born before 1946. This group, traditionalists, prefer more formal communication. Give them your undivided attention, use eye contact, and listen closely when you deal with this generation. One-on-one communication approach works best with this group. They believe in following rules and respect structure and authority, and many of these individuals have worked for the same practice for years, the traditionalists. The next group are called the boomers. And you all may know people in this, the baby boomer generations, which was born between 1946 and 1964. And they have experienced many changes during their career, so it's make them, they're very flexible in their thinking because they've seen so much, which is why they expect of those they converse, which is what they expect when they converse with people. So boomers can be outspoken, but they typically wait to be invited to give their opinions. Unless they're extremely concerned about a situation, then they tend to jump in with both feet. But like traditionalists, they prefer face-to-face conversations and to be shown how to do things. More visual people. If time is limited for an in-person discussion, consider video tutorials for the show me generation. So again, boomers. Generation X. Now, members of Generation X are somewhat more adept with technology. I think this is where a lot of us come in. The generation juggles many things in their current stage of life, so email works well for them as a communication tool, and time may not always allow for them for a face-to-face conversation. So they're a little bit both, because when we started, this age range, I think, is the generation between 1965 and 1976. So I would say I fall into that, and I when I read it, I said, okay, this is true. You have to provide them a regular feedback. It's always important to make sure they feel valued and that their voice is heard. You have to give them feedback, and you can take emails and in person, because we're both, again, like we said, we can deal with both. Because we have, I guess, experience in dealing with earlier generations, our parents were more likely to express an opinion without being asked than the two earlier generations. But they're slightly more reticent at doing so than millennials. They prefer to be asked in person for their assistance and input. It just should not be assumed. Generation Y, on the other hand, they're known as the millennials, Generation Y, and they are practically born with smartphones in their hands, and they grew up using computers, having been born between 1977 and 1995. I see you all listening because you all know people and you see how this works. However, they are in a stage where they're always trying to prove themselves to older generations. They appreciate being challenged, but will resent anyone who talks down to them. They desire to be treated like an equal in the workplace, not as a child. As a generation, they want to be recognized in the workplace for their areas of responsibility. They crave one-on-one assessment and feedback, and they'll question you if you don't. The group is also future focused. They want to know what to see for their future and the development opportunities available to them. Does that sound familiar? And this group is not known for its patience at all. So don't be surprised when they ask for a promotion 6 months into the job. I only been here for 6 months. I need $20,000 more. Manage expectations early with millennials. Generation Y prefers emails and texting, but don't be too formal. They seek fun also. The work environment has to be fun for them. And the last group I would say is Generation Z, which was born 1996 and latter. And they were born surrounded by all the latest and greatest technologies. They actually crave some face-to-face communication, although social media and technology pretty much works for them. And it helps them feed into their visuals. Face-to-face communication fills their need for authenticity. Also, because they grew up with Generation X parents who often worked full-time and switched careers a few times, they understand the importance of staying relevant by continuing to learn and proving themselves in the workplace. Being the youngest generation, this generation is well aware that it has a lot to learn and can benefit from the mentoring. And as a matter of fact, what we've seen with this generation, they've only known like one president, right? President Obama, kind of, right? And so for them to see the next president to all of a sudden stop and like give a march, they're like, oh my goodness, they're really a hands-on, ready to take on the world. I'm very proud of this generation specifically because they really want to make a difference. And they understand the value of face-to-face conversations, but need to be taught how to conduct their conversations due to their workplace immaturity. So I only say the only difference within any of the communications is via phone call, text, or in-person conversations. But just understand, people, and I certainly open this up because you all know different folks that you have to work with. When you are working with different people, try to first understand where they're coming from and how to communicate with them effectively. It may not be anything personal. It may not be anything that they're taking that you should take affront to. It's just that when you speak to someone over 50, you might have to, sit down with them, look them face to face. If you speak to someone younger than 25, a text may work. So that's my Single Moms Chronicles, and I'm not over it, but I just want to say that those are the things that we got to think about when we communicate effectively. Any comments or anything you'd like to share?
Well, I think your analysis is on point.
Thank you so much. No pun. No puns.
No pun, but it really is because organizing my building, I have a different way talking to the children of the tenants to get them engaged as opposed to the parents. And so I have to figure out, okay, phone calls work best, face to face, and with the younger kids who are doing the social work for their parents because of language barriers or navigating through the complex systems. I say, I just text them or WhatsApp them and do this. So yeah, and things get done. But it is a multi-communication strategy that you got to do now if you really want to get anything done. You have to know how to talk to the people that your target audience. That is definitely a skill. So yeah.
I'm gonna keep it right on point and give you some blunt discussion.
No. Why you say that, Curtis? What's so blunt about this discussion?
As the only baby boomer on this panel,
I do not believe that.
Yeah, I want to say that I'm trying to fight it, but millennials straight up get on my mother freaking nerves.
Man, get with the times, man.
Why is that?
Most of them get on my nerves with this sense of
entitlement.
Oh, it just drives me crazy. But I have to realize that I was the same way to the generation that was before me. Sure. And so do I succumb to my curmudgeonism? That is a natural progression for somebody of my age? Or do I try to be the fake guy who's the youngest guy in the club and try to be like everybody else And I think I'm gonna play my position. I'm gonna play my position as a mentor. I'm gonna play my position as someone who's seasoned, who's worldly. You know, the other day, a millennial asked me to do them a favor. All right. So I wrote all the points and ways we could work together.
Right.
Right. I said, just call me tomorrow. The person never called. So my wife was like, are you gonna call that person? No. I was like, hell no.
Right.
And that's because I'm curmudgeon. Okay, that's it.
Well, you know what, curmudgeon man?
Yeah.
You have to give trainings to these young people to
Trainings,
tell,
okay,
yes,
okay.
so that they know how to talk to you, because we gotta learn how to make those multi-generational connections. And you being the curmudgeon old man, you gotta provide that type of guidance. You cannot just expect them to understand that if you don't tell them what the rules actually are.
Good point. And I'm receiving information still.
And how to communicate with you.
Yeah,
Because you know, everyone doesn't communicate the same way. So I remember every time I start a relationship, I try to say, okay, how do you like this? Do you like emails?
well, basically cupcakes. Oh, okay.
How do you like
along
this?
with cupcakes and glitter.
How do you like this?
But how do you like to communicate moving forward? Is it best that we talk on the phone? Is it best that we email? Like, what do you like best? So then, you
That's
know,
smart. That's smart.
I'm not taking offense to it, because you know, my pet peeve is stating your home position via text. Like, I just think that communication one-on-one is important, because when you talk via text, it's just one-sided. You're just saying your side, and there's no
nuance.
opportunity for discussion. You know, so you can just say everything you want in the middle of the night and hang up. You know.
And you don't really know what's real or what's honest or not, because I could just text you, LOL, ha ha ha, I love you, and I'm like,
exactly.
Nah.
Did you see yourself in that discussion with millennials?
You know what? Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Like, what do you prefer? Do you really prefer communication via text?
Nah, I like talking to people. Like, I realize that even people older than me, some younger than me, and in my age group, like, they do the texting thing, but we can have a conversation in person or on the phone, because I want to know how you feel, because anybody could just say this, that, and the third and not really mean it. But sometimes you gotta look people in the eyes and see.
But when you're in a work environment and someone wants you to do things, do you find that it's better for them to text you? Just asking you, everyone can respond. Is it better to text, or do you prefer a conversation like it when you're at work?
Oh, well, you could pull me to the side, talk to me about something, and you know, I just want you to tell me what you need to tell me. I would prefer the one-on-one, the in-person. But even when you said the thing about, like, they feel like they gotta prove theyself, like, I was like, man, yeah, especially doing music, I've been in them situations. Like, oh, he young, he don't know what he doing. Yeah, all right, watch. Yeah.
Well, you know, like you said, I mean, what's the saying? In order to be understood, you have to understand, right? So
You're always so deep, man.
That was just a sentence.
That's a sentence.
He always has like those statements, you know.
I'm cerebral, I think.
Still waters over here.
I didn't know what curmudgeon meant, but nonetheless.
I bet you'll learn it next week.
I ain't that deep. You know what I mean? Not really. I'll probably never use it again.
Say it 3 times, right?
They'd be like, nah, he's faking it. He don't know what that means. He just learned that. That was popped up in his
Grouch.
phone.
It means a grouch.
That's what it means?
Yeah.
All right. So it's all good, but thank you, Ray. Because the half of them didn't know what it means either. They just didn't want to say
Right,
it.
we was like,
Is that a cupcake? Is that a cupcake?
Right? That a flavor? Curmudgeon?
Triple chocolate.
So, I mean, I think that, you know, it's even more important now because of technology, right? So we all have people in the younger generation, and, you know, I have family members I don't even speak to. You know what I mean? We just communicate by phone. And I realized that, you know, they also, some of the younger generation, they're a little more open, that they put their lives up, because they are a Snapchat and Facebook, and they're, you know, they're every aspect of their day, you can see what's going on in their life. And for most of us who are a little older, that's not how we get down. You know, we're a little more private and stuff, right? So I think learning how to communicate with people who are a lot more open and have, you know, their life is an open book. It's a little bit interesting to communicate with those individuals, even just having that a real conversation.
And also, you know, for the baby boomers and other curmudgeons out there, Emily Post wrote a book for you guys to follow, and that's why you're able to follow that. There is no rule book for the newer generation, and that's something that is always a continuing work that we gotta focus on working, because everybody Emily's Post style of eating and all these things, the rules were written and people followed them. There are no rules, and it's always being written over and over again as the new generations come on.
Well, one tip for every generation that Yaz mentioned is that surveys show that people who actually interface, converse, touch, and talk to at least 5 people a day live healthier, mentally more stable, more intellectually stimulating lives. So,
and what poll was that?
Oh, I'll forward it to you.
Please share that poll. I mean, that poll sounds
came
dope.
for the,
and we just got 2
all
minutes
things
left.
traffic.
No, that's right, all things traffic. So I just want to say we got 2 minutes left, but in closing, for this, I think to the point of Curtis, that I don't think we need to continue to. I don't think every generation is new. I think they all kind of go into different roles. So, whatever role that I was, I'm sure at one point I was a generation Wire. I'm sure at one point in my life I was a generation a millennial, and I think it's up to us to just understand that if we want to continue to have a communication flow amongst us as a village, we have to understand how to meet people where they are and not separate, but just bring everybody in. So I want to thank you so much. That was my Single Moms Chronicles. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you, Jazz.
And I think this is the end of the show.
Yes.
No.
And so On Point Experience, we have a couple of guests coming up next week. It's going to be a great show. We also have Financially Fit and Husband Tips to the More You Know. Which one are we doing?
The More You Know.
The More You Know.
Yeah.
And Financially Fit. And some great guests. So this is Yaz Hurston. Roll call out.
Rave.
Curtis. Jeff.
Curtis and Jeff.
Curtis and Jeff. That's our name. We good. I'm JB. I'm here.
And Ray.
Buenas tardes, gente. Hasta la próxima.
Okay.
Will Townsend, where you at, boy?
Willie Will.
You're on point, yes. All the time, Kurt. You're on point, Ray. All the time, Kurt.
You're on point, Will.
All the time, Kurt. On point radio, we about to build. On point radio, we about to build. On point radio, we about to build. On point radio, we about to build.
Listen to On Point Radio Show every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. with co-hosts Curtis Sherrod, Will Jameer, Rayblen Vargas, and me, Yaz Hurston, as we empower and educate you, the listening audience, on current events, lifestyle matters, and political community issues with a twist of humor, intellect, and tough love.
So people, check us out at www.FLOEmpireRadio.com. You can download the app or you can go right to the website and be sure to click on our radio show, On Point.
Love to hear from our people. Call us with your questions, comments, share your thoughts. Call 929-227-4646. That is 929-227-4646.